Hey, Cross, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
We're staying out of trouble today, little bit of snow.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, you guys have been on a pretty good streak lately. I think 10 games in a row where you've gotten at least a point. What's been going right during this streak?
Yeah. Obviously, I think it's just kind of like team kind of forming together. I think at the start of the year, we had, man, like a whole new team. It felt like whole new bunch of guys. A lot of older guys that were new and a lot of younger guys that are just coming into pro. And I think just now, like lately, we've been meshing pretty well as a team and getting pretty close. And I think it's kind of translating to the ice as well. And I think we're just having a lot more fun together out there. And I think we trust each other a lot and just playing with a lot of confidence, which is nice. So.
Was there any, like, I don't know about an incident, but was there a game or something where it all kind of fell together for you?
I think it was just kind of game after game after game, one of those kind of keep building night in, night out type of things. I feel like at the start of the year we were starting to trend that way, but some of the results were kind of not going our way, and sometimes they would, and it was just all those games are good for us as a team and as a unit throughout the season. So, but yeah, I think as of lately, a lot of the results have been kind of coming towards our way with the points and the wins. So. Yeah, we've been a lot better in our D zone, which has been translating a lot to the offensive zone. We've been putting the puck in the back of net, so been winning games.
I understand you're on the line with Jonathan Berggren and Marco Casper. How has that been going?
Uh, Actually, I haven't been playing with them at all.
Oh, okay. I understood wrong.
Yeah, that's okay.
Um, your defense is that how has your defense improved over the past couple weeks?
Yeah, as a team or personally,
Well, both.
both. Yeah, I think like I was saying, as a team, I think like defense first is kind of a mentality we've kind of had. If you're good in the D zone, spend less time in there, you're gonna have more time with the puck and then be in the offensive zone. I think we've done that lately, especially since like Christmas time. I think is really kind of when we kind of started pushing and trying to kind of turn the tide there. And for personally, I think it's just been kind of one of my focuses. It usually is one of my focuses throughout the season, and in my game is just to focus on my defensive side and being good on the half wall and doing a lot of reps in practice, getting off the wall with it, making the right play, blocking shots, stuff like that. So I think still it's a big focus of mine, and keep getting better every day is what I want to do. So
I'm all set. Thanks again for me.
yeah, thank you very much.
Next up, Ansar Khan from MLive.
Yeah, hi, Cross. Just what are some of the things that you've taken away from your second season here as a pro? Some of the biggest, I guess, lessons or what you've learned here?
Yeah, I think it's been a big learning year for me. Um, Coming off of like kind of a season or a start of the season I had last year as a rookie was I kind of was on a pretty big high coming into pro as a 20-year-old, and getting injured was a big like I guess stunt in the season last year coming back, and then this year the lesson I think I've learned the most is just don't take any opportunity for granted. Kind of feel like it only comes around once in a while, and I think you just got to every time like this year, just like every opportunity I get to be in the lineup is I got to play good and do my part for the team, and just try to keep getting wins for the team and stuff and doing my part. So I think just thing I've learned is just take every opportunity like it's kind of your last, I guess.
You just talked about your defensive game. Just where do you feel your offensive game is right now, and what are some of the things that you're looking to kind of improve on or take the next step in that area?
Yeah, I think my offensive game is kind of this year's is kind of more like confidence wise. Feel like it was just coming off of that injury was a little tough. I guess like I thought it'd be a little easier coming back off the injury with the offensive side, but it wasn't. So that was a little bit of a shock, I guess. And so I think it just from there, just keeping confidence with my offensive side, knowing I can do some stuff with the puck and put the puck back in net. But like I said, just kind of getting the opportunity to do stuff, I feel like is just kind of taking the opportunity like it's my last every time, and I think just the offensive side, I think just some things haven't gone my way too much this year, but like we have a lot of great offensive players in the room, so it hasn't really been my role this year to be that guy to get a ton of goals and be like the guy offensively. So I'm just trying to do my part and help the team wherever I can.
Also, just what are your impressions of Marco Casper here? You mentioned that you haven't really played with him on a line, but just going up against him in practice and what you've seen in games. A couple of exhibitions. The one game he played up here with the Wings, he seemed to bring kind of a gritty element, creating havoc around the net. Has he kind of been that kind of player down there too?
Yeah, I think gritty is a good word for him. I think he's a kid that works extremely hard. He's always one of the last guys off the ice. He's always in the gym doing extra. And he really likes to win. He doesn't take anything. If somebody does something to him, he takes exception, and he doesn't like you said. He's just a gritty player. He does everything he does a lot of things very well, defensively, offensively. Good centerman down low, face offs. And like I said, he's a really hard worker. He just wants to get better every single day, and it's really really good to see because he has the potential to be a really good player. So I've gotten the chance to play with him a few times this year on a line, and we're pretty good buddies off the ice, and the chemistry's pretty well. So I like playing with him a lot. Obviously, he plays fast and he plays hard, and kind of the way I like to play also. So it's pretty fun playing with him.
Hey, Sebastian, how are things going overall?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Well, this being your first season in Grand Rapids, how would you assess your season thus far?
I'd say I'm pretty happy with it overall. Definitely seen some up and downs throughout the year, but overall, I think my development throughout the year, my confidence throughout the year, just coming into the year not knowing, especially how the league works, kind of getting a couple games last year, but kind of getting more into it this year, throughout the year, probably halfway to 2/3 way through the year now. I've been pretty happy with it. I want to finish the season strong and continue to continue to develop here.
What was your biggest adjustment coming from Toledo to Grand Rapids?
I think just kind of the overall skill of the league. Obviously just a little bit faster. I think the first two lines down there in the coast. They can play in this league, but in this league, all four lines can usually score, and you got to be watching out for a lot of players out there. And obviously the top guys' skills are pretty good, and they could be up in the NHL. So I think overall, just the speed of the game, guys in front of the net are a little bit better at tipping. D are shooting a little bit harder, picking their spots a little bit better. So stuff like that, I think, just overall.
Was as much a mental as a physical adjustment?
Yeah, definitely. Especially coming into a new league, a better league. You want to come in here and you want to play good and show that you can play here at a high level. So I think just continually graduating your confidence and feeling steady and good to go every single night. Knowing that you can go out there and give the team a chance to win.
Working with Michael Hutchinson, how has that helped this season?
Really good. Obviously Hutch has been around for a long time, and he's got a lot of good experiences and bad experiences. He's kind of helped me not have to go through as many bad experiences, and I think just overall, working every day in practice, both of us are playing well right now, just competes up, and obviously it's a friendly competition, but both of us are working really hard out there and making both each other better.
You guys are on a 10-game point streak right now. What's been different about this particular streak? What's going right for you?
Yeah, I think we've definitely dialed in on our defensive end of the game. Our forwards have been doing a good job putting the puck in the back of their net, but I think you look at the past 10 games, even probably 2 months, our defense, especially from the beginning of the year to where it is now, is kind of night and day, and definitely giving the other team a lot less chances and a lot less turnovers in our zone, and our penalty kill has been a lot better recently, and stuff like that. Keeping the puck out of your nets definitely been helping us get more points.
Okay, I'm all set for right now. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, next up is Ansar Khan from MLive.
Yeah, hi, Sebastian. Just wondering, how much contact do you have throughout the course of the season with the Wings, and what's kind of been their message to you?
A little bit for sure. Obviously, Horkoff and Eiserman come down here for some home games and stuff like that. Definitely a lot of my communications with the goalie coaches. Either Alex Wesley, we've communicated a couple times throughout the year, but most of it's with Rope, the goalie coach here. Last year was with Phil Osair down there in Toledo. So, three of those guys are definitely on the same page and kind of given the same message throughout the year, and those three have been really good for me.
Is there any particular area of your game, technically or otherwise, that you're looking to kind of take the next step in, or here over the last second half of the year?
Yeah, I think I've done a lot better job of controlling my depth, whether that's off the rush plays or in zone, or especially on the PK. I think I've done a lot better job of that throughout the year, and that's letting me beat the passes and get set on the shots, which has helped a lot. That continuing to work on my skating, obviously, that's never going to go away. I think just positionally, big body, as if I'm set on the puck, if I have my angle on it, they don't have a lot to shoot at. So just continuing to work on that.
And also, just your impressions of Marco Kasper here, his first year in North America. How would you just assess his play and just his style of game?
Yeah, he's definitely a goalie's friend. He plays a really good 200-foot game. Someone might feel comfortable can put out there on the penalty kill or power play. Obviously, his offensive game is definitely turned the corner probably since maybe the new year, I'd say. Definitely you see it in practice, but in games at the beginning of the year, just couldn't find that finishing touch. And happy to see him to finally put some points up and stuff like that, because he definitely works. He's always one of the last guys on the ice, and he's definitely put in the work. So it's good to see him kind of reap his rewards.
Yeah. Hi, Marco. Just how is your offensive game? It seems to have really picked up here over the last 9-10 games. Just what's working well for you right now at that end of the ice?
I think it's obviously good that we as a team are playing better. I mean, we've been winning games, and that's really good. So, but I think it's just playing competitive hockey, winning battles, having the puck more. I think it definitely helps in the offensive zone, making plays, and just like playing with a little more calmness, I would say, and that's been a big factor, I think.
And just coming into a new league into North America here, how important was it for you, the first half of the season to kind of establish your two-way game, that just the 200-foot play to kind of earn confidence from the coaches, and where do you think that stands right now as far as your defensive play?
Yeah, I think it's really important. The defensive game is always important. I mean, we've done a good job as a team. We're pretty good, like league-wise, defensively, and it's been a long way there. I think in the beginning it wasn't as good, but now we and me are doing a better job, and winning battles in their own zone, shutting their own plays, I think, and creating an offense out of turnovers, I would say.
Yeah. And just what are your impressions of Sebastian Cossa, and just how important he's been to the team's success this year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's a great guy. First of all, it's the most important thing, I think, and also on the ice, he's a really hard worker. He's out there on the ice, goalie practice after practice, and I think it shows in games. He's really important for us, and you can see it in games.
Thanks, Marco.
Thanks.
Next up is Tim Robinson from Detroit Hockey Now. Tim, you're on mute.
How about that? Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
you're good.
Oh, okay. You've been on a streak where you've gotten a point in the last 10 games. What has contributed to that?
I mean, like you said before, it definitely helps that we as a team are playing way better now and winning games. But I think it's also that just like I said, working hard in practice and doing the same things in games. Winning puck battles, going to the net front, creating plays with my line mates, and just playing more loose, playing with more confidence. I think that's helped a lot.
What have you been working on? I'm sure the Red Wings have things they want you to work on. What are some of the things you've been working on that have kind of fallen into place for you this season?
Yeah, I think like I said, like the battles, like the competitiveness, just going out there winning, trying to win every puck. I mean, it's impossible to win every puck, but it's just gonna be the mindset to go out there and win every battle, win every face-off. Like I'm working hard on face-offs in practice and stuff like that, and then obviously like, trying to create chances and breaking up plays defensively. I think it's just the overall game that I'm trying to improve, but the big thing is to win battles, I think.
I guess well, let me check this. Let me check this. As far as adjustments, is it the mental adjustment that's been as big as physical?
I mean, I think it's both. I mean, you're far away from your home, like in Europe. It's time difference. You can't talk to friends and family as much as you would like, maybe. But it's also like physically a change. Like the hockey is different here. It's tighter. It's probably faster. It's just different all around. You gotta make an adjustment as a young player, but even if you're older coming over here from Europe, it's different. But I think everybody goes through that phase, and it's just normal. And I'm trying to adjust the best as I can and work really hard on that.
With your offense, like Ansar was saying, you've been able to kind of pick up the scoring lately. Is it just puck luck, or is it opportunity, or being able to more quickly recognize the opportunities?
I think it's just like we were playing with more confidence. I'm playing with more confidence. It's also, I mean, when you get the opportunity, you got to be ready. You got to be prepared for it. I think I've been working really hard in practice, trying to earn the opportunity to get in those chances, to get in the offensive zone, like and work really hard there to get points. I mean, it's not, like it's not the most important thing. It's winning, obviously, but like you win by scoring goals. So it's just trying to outcompete like the other teams and then trying to pick up some offense.
Hey, Brian, what has been the difference between this year and last year as far as the Griffins are concerned? I know you were a player last year. You have a pretty good view of everything, but what's been the biggest difference this season for you?
I think lately now it's been consistency. I think over the last couple of months, I think you've seen, especially our younger players, take some steps forward in their development. I think a lot of guys are buying into the what we're trying to do here, but I think consistency on a night-to-night basis, and I think there's a lot of commitment to playing the right way. I think defensively, for sure. I think over the last couple of months we've taken strides in that area, but I think there's just a lot of development. I think especially from some younger players and then new younger players that have come in that we didn't have last year that have come in, I think taking strides over the course of the season and playing in important roles. I think all that together kind of puts you in a position where you're starting to see some growth out of the team in general.
What has Sebastian Cossa meant for your team this year?
I think he's been solid. I think he's another young guy. I think he's taken a step for sure. I think he's obviously his first full year in the American League so far, and another guy that I think has gotten better and better since last year, playing pro and obviously in Toledo, and then I think he's gotten more starts and he's gaining confidence right now, and he looks like a guy that, with continued progression is going to be a very good player, very good goaltender. So he's given us solid starts, I think, especially lately over the last couple of months, and gives us a chance to win every night.
And your other goalie, Mr. Hutchinson, has done pretty well for you. How important is that to have stable goaltending?
Well, it's huge. I think, whether it's, us being a good defensive team, I think, a lot of that relies on the goalies as well. But, I think having a guy like Hutch around, an older guy, he's played in the NHL, He's played pro a long time. I think it's good for our coach to have a guy like that in the room with him every single day to be able to learn from, and and having them work together back to back and split a lot of games here lately. I think it's been a good combo for them. They get to work. I think they work well together. And it's obviously a guy in Kosa who's younger, in his first year in the American League, and then obviously Hutch has played many years pro. I think it's great to have that type of 1-2 combo, and I think they've done well together, kind of working with each other off the ice, and then giving Coast the best opportunity to learn and develop like he has.
And I imagine it's a source of confidence too. I know you had like something like 8 goalies last year as opposed to these 2. Does that help overall as far as the team's confidence and on the
Yeah,
ice?
for sure. Yeah, I think anytime you can get stability out of the goaltending position, I think it helps in general with your team overall team play. I think it helps defensively, like I talked about earlier. It helps, and it does help offensively as well. It keeps you not chasing from behind. So I think those 2 guys have been done a solid job for us this year, giving us chances to win every single night, and giving our offense a chance to try and work through some dry spells throughout the season. But I think it's been a good over the last couple of months here where our offense has started to pick up a little bit. I think it's been a good combination for us to be able to pick up some wins lately.
At what point did it start to all kind of come together? I mean, was there a certain game where that it all seemed to mesh?
I think I thought we did a very good job coming out of the Christmas break, playing the right way. I think sometimes when we had a long break, and I think after some of those breaks you can be kind of sloppy, but I thought the first game in Rockford out of the Christmas break, we played a good brand of hockey that, we were solid defensively. And I think that kind of just, translated to the next game and the next game. And I thought we started to pick up some momentum playing the right way. So we started to pick up wins, and even through a couple losses, we were able to bounce back. And I think that's probably the difference between the beginning of the season to right now is, when we do have an off night, I think we've got a group that's maturing, that's able to recognize it, and not having that type of performance 2 nights in a row. We're able to bounce back and help us be more of a consistent team.
I think I'm all set.
All right, next up is Ansar Khan from MLive.
Yeah, hi, Brian. Just with what have you seen from Marco Kasper's just the uptick in his offensive numbers over these last 9-10 games? Was there any adjustments that he made, or is it just a matter of getting more comfortable to the new league and being in North America?
I think it's a combination. I think he's, obviously Marco's work ethic is very high. I think it's every single day in practice, he's one of the hardest working guys, and then in the games as well. And I think he learns the league for sure. I think like a lot of young guys have to learn the American League. And he is, obviously a young player even for the American League. And I think it's kind of been a slow progression throughout the start of the season. And then I think you've seen him now. He's got the trust of the coaches, and he's put himself in positions now where his work ethic on the defensive side of the puck is translated into having it a little bit more. And I think he has got enough skill that he's starting to cash in on some opportunities and create. And I think, he's been a big piece of us kind of moving forward. I think as a team, like a lot of those guys I talked about, kind of, developing and getting better and better as the season's gone on. I think he's no different. I think he's done a great job since the start of the season, working through some maybe some growing pains in the beginning to a point now where he's getting production but his work ethic has always been high. And I think that's a big reason for it.
Also for a guy, a forward, I know you're a defenseman, but for a forward, especially a high pick like that, who I'm sure a lot of offensive expectations coming in, how important is it for a guy like that, especially early on, to just kind of establish his 200-foot game to earn the trust of the coaches?
Well, I think it's huge. I think, I think it's for him to be able to be that type of player early on, a guy who has that type of motor, who works as hard as he does, is only going to help him. I think he's going to be able to create more offense, have the puck more, just by having the type of mentality he does. But I think he's, for a young kid, he's strong on his skates, and he wins some puck battles that I think allows him to have the puck more as well. So, he's gotten better in a lot of those areas since the beginning of the season, and I think that's helped him kind of start to take off a little bit offensively. But the work ethic's always been there. The wants to be great is I think will always be there with him, and I think that's what's going to help him be in the NHL for a long time. So, I think he definitely has gained the trust of the whole staff, and I think he's only going to continue to get better.
Also, another guy, was Simon Edvinsson. I'm sure there was disappointment for him not making the Wings roster at the start, but he seems to have put that aside and is having a pretty solid season. How would you assess his play and his growth this year?
Well, he's been great. I mean, he's been great to work with. Number one, I mean, I played with him obviously last year, so I knew a lot about him as a person. And like you said, I think he had a good training camp, and he followed that up, I think, with a good start to the season in Grand Rapids. And he's had his moments, some learning moments for sure. But I think I rely on him, and the team relies on him for heavy minutes. And I think he's going to continue to learn how to play efficient hockey in those heavy minutes. And but you can see the talent, and the one thing about him that I've always thought is, he wants to be a good player, and he's willing to put in the work to do it. And I think that's going to help him, number one. But I think he's learning, number one, or number two, I think he's learning how to play efficient and big minutes in this league, which he's going to be able to do in the NHL.
Dan, thanks for doing this. I guess first question is, you're on a 11-2-1-2 run right now since post-Christmas, basically. Was there anything leading up to that where you started to think, okay, things are starting to come together? That's always such a challenge in this league, to get everybody gelled and, in that first month or two of the season.
Yeah, I think our play, even the series before, we played Texas 4 straight times right before Christmas. We had some good games and some high-level hockey being played, just weren't being rewarded for it. And I think the message heading into Christmas was, we can be a good team. We've got to make that decision to do it as a group. It can't be individuals. We need to be doing it as a team. And since Christmas, we've been really good at that. Guys pulling for each other, and all the cliche things you can talk about being a team and playing for each other. But inside that locker room, we've seen some of the older guys and more experienced guys, or younger guys, they're starting to talk, they're starting to go out for dinners, they're starting to be, become a team behind the scenes. I think, when you do that, it does show on the ice. Guys stick up for each other. Everybody wants to have success. It doesn't matter who it is. I think just when you have that unselfishness, that's when teams become good. And I think that's what we're seeing right now.
Is that, for lack of a better word, camaraderie? Is that something that you can, as a coaching staff, can push a little bit, or is that something that has to happen naturally on its own?
I think a little bit of both. I think you can put guys in certain situations potentially that can help that, but it does have to happen organically. You can't make, as a coach, I can't go make teammates like each other, but they've got to have respect. They got to have the trust for each other. They have to understand that everyone's there for a reason. What that reason is could be different for everybody, but the common goal is we want to win. We want to win hockey games. We want guys to move on to the NHL. We want guys to be successful at the American League level. I think once everyone understands that, that's when they become close.
Brian Lashoff was mentioning about Marco earning the trust factor of the coaching staff. Kind of a general question, either with him or just any player, is what goes into that trust? Like, what happens that kind of tilts that in the balance of, I trust this player now, as opposed to maybe before that?
Yeah, I think it's being responsible in certain times of the game and in certain areas on the ice. I think, and in terms of Marco, the compete level, the work ethic, coaches want that. They love to see that. And when you have that, now you're responsible with the puck. You're responsible when you don't have the puck. Mm-hmm. I think that's when that trust builds. And for Marco, it's been building since day one. And again, I talk about, he wasn't maybe getting rewarded offensively with what he was doing early on as he figured out the league, as he figured out the pace of play, the types of systems maybe that are different from here to Europe. But I just think the way he's been building throughout the year, he's steadily gone up our lineup to now being, I guess, our number 2 center behind Austin Czarnik. So for him to build like that shows that he's been a responsible 200-foot player. You bring that with the compete level, you bring that with the care level, someone we trust a lot.
Just last thing, and this maybe is better for Sean or someone but Jared McIsaac reassigned to Switzerland. Kind of what was the message to him as he goes over there, and how do you manage that kind of situation as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think those probably are better questions for Sean for sure. What I will say is Jared's a complete pro, has handled this season better than probably anyone can expect out of the situation he's been in. Hopefully he goes over there and plays extremely well and, can get playing some minutes again.
Great. Thank you.
Next up, Ansar Khan from MLive.
Yeah, hi Dan. Just your thoughts on Sebastian Kosa's it seems like a gradual improvement from the start of the season, and how much of that has to do with just a confidence and just a more of a comfort level at this level.
Yeah, I think I personally saw it last year. That first little bit in the ECHL, he was finding his way and finding what worked for him on a daily basis. And I think he's into a groove now. He's got a detailed schedule of what has to be done for him to have success every single day. Working with Rope Koivunen pretty closely here on a daily basis has really helped him. And I just, it's sticking with that process. Even when he's having success, it's still sticking with what he's doing to give him that success and not just throwing things by the wayside. And I just think, again, all the off-ice things that he's been doing religiously on a day-to-day basis helped him, and his preparation for games has certainly, been fun to watch. It's different than last year, but I do think when he's dialed in, he's a really good goaltender at this level.
And how would you assess Cross Hannes's play, and just kind of what's the message to him as far as taking the next step here over the second half?
Yeah, Cross at the start of the year, I think the confidence level wasn't quite there yet, still coming off that injury from last year. But as of recently, the last couple of games for sure, the way he's playing, the way he's going about his practice habits and his details in practice is better. And now in games, he's getting better looks. He scored a goal the other night just by going to the net, something he wasn't doing on a regular basis. So it's getting back to the fundamentals for him, gaining that confidence. That way he can take that next step and get back to the way he was early on last year.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Wrapping up with Tim Robinson from Detroit Hockey Now.
Hey Dan, do you think are the Griffins at this point where you thought they would be, or you wanted them to be at this point of the season? Are you satisfied with progress?
Yeah, as a coach, we always want more. But I think right now, where we're at since Christmas, this is where I want to be and where we think we should be. I think we can be even better. Some of the leads we've been giving up, especially here at home, those hurt. Some of the comebacks I've been impressed with our guys. So overall, the level that we're playing right now, I would be satisfied, but we still have room to grow and build to make sure that, when we hopefully make playoffs here, we're going to be a team that can make a run, not just make playoffs.
Your goaltending has been pretty solid for you this year. How does that help? Does it help a team's confidence? Is it just like one less thing to worry about, or what factors?
Yeah, I think it allows teams to play a little more free, especially with the puck. You don't have to worry all the time. We can't give up shots. We can't give up a shot from this area of the ice. We can't. And I just think it allows teams to play free with the puck. And if you look at our lineup, Bergeron and Czarnik, even Mays and Lombardi, they want the puck on their sticks. They want to be able to have that freedom to make plays. And and we have good goaltending back there, it takes that pressure off. Allows our D to play a little more aggressive too. You know, if they get beat, they know they have someone there to stop the puck on the back end of it. So we trust our goaltenders immensely. I know they've been going here one game. So I think they're fresh and they're not as tired going into that back-to-back. So I think that's been key for them. But again, 2 guys and we put them in the net, so they give us an opportunity to win every game.